Are you a professional pillow fighter? Or a 9-to-5 low-cost time travel agent? Or maybe real estate sales on Mars is your profession? It doesn't matter. Whatever it is you do, however complex or intricate, Monday.com can help you organize, orchestrate, and make it more efficient. Monday.com is the one centralized platform for everything work-related. And with Monday.com, work is just easier. Monday.com, for whatever you run. Go to Monday.com to learn more.
Well, I don't see the point in waiting any longer, so let's bring her out. The star attraction, the one you came to see. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Miss Judy Gold.
All right, are we recording? Welcome to Kill Me Now. I just want to say, I'm beyond excited about our guest today. But before we begin, I just want to say that I had a shitty birthday. I had to fly to fucking Cleveland on my birthday. On my fucking birthday. I had to fly to Cleveland. Then, it's one of those small planes. You know it's a smaller plane, so they don't, your carry-on has to be gate checked.
Oh, golly. Okay,
so they gate check my carry-on, and I'm like, ooh, I should take my computer out of my carry-on. So I take the computer out, I go on the plane, I go, I had a glass of wine because I'm like, oh, it's my birthday. I have to tell everyone it's my birthday. I'm telling the flight attendant it's my birthday. Yeah. Then I get off the plane, then I go to get in the car, and I realize I left my fucking computer that I took out of my fucking bag on the fucking overhead. Fuck. Then I basically threw my luggage down like it's on wheels, so I pushed it and went all the way, and I started cursing because I have really good self-control. And then I went in to tell the woman at the,
terminal.
The baggage claim complaint fucking person. I walk in, I said I left my computer in the overhead, but of course then I added, and it's my birthday.
Well,
because I have to make it worse. And then, and I said they can't find it because I had sent a woman who was pushing a woman in a wheelchair up, and she said they can't find it. And then as I finished that sentence of "it's my birthday," a thing came on saying we found it, the computer. So I was like, okay. And then I went and had dinner at the bar. Did you stay at that Hyatt in Cleveland?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I love that.
The one across
arcade.
the street,
yeah. And I went to the bar to have dinner, and I met this guy who is an OBGYN, African American, and turns out he's gay. And I'm like, why would you pick vaginas? And he's from a very Christian, he wasn't really out. So when I started talking about my family, and he's like, oh, I thought you were going to say you had a husband. And I'm like, hello. Boom. So then he came out to me. All right. Anyway.
Whoa.
So he might not be out to his patients in Cleveland for all we know.
Well, he's not from Cleveland. Now he does shit for pharmaceutical
right, he was staying
companies.
in a hotel, yes.
Yeah. He does shit for pharmaceutical companies so that he can make a shitload of money. I bet you recognize that voice.
I do.
Everyone recognizes his voice because it's a special voice.
It's
a special voice. And his name is Greg Proops, and he's really smart and talented. Yeah!
Yeah.
Yay, Greg!
Thank you.
Woo!
That's the best intro I've ever had, Judy.
That was the Greg Proops intro. I fucking love this guy because he's fucking smart. All right, can I just say one thing?
Yes, darling.
I was late today. I've been really good. I've been on time. Last night, I'm sitting with my 21-year-old on the sofa, and I said, listen, the refrigerator repair guy's going to come. I got to leave the house by 10:30. Can you come here at 10:30 to wait for the repair guy?
Right.
Okay? And he's like, yeah, sure. Because that's how he talks.
Yeah.
Like a lesbian.
Yeah, sure. All right.
I've met him. He's gorgeous.
Yeah. So then,
Like a lesbian.
this morning, I call, because fucking refrigerator repair guy calls. First of all, he's supposed to come between 9 and 12. I said, can you just come at 9 so I don't have to deal with this shit? Calls me at 10:15 while I'm getting ready to leave. Yeah, I'm going to be there in 20. Then I call Henry. He's fucking sleeping at my ex's. I ended up having to tell the fucking refrigerator repair guy not to come. Okay? I didn't get to leave my house till 11:15, and my refrigerator's broken from my other son's friends breaking into my apartment and having a 4-day party.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is.
I can't take anymore, Greg. I can't take it. I can't. Every day I wake up, it's some shit. Do you have shit happen to you? Do you have like bad, like I feel like
I do, but not progeny shit because I didn't breed.
Yeah. Why is that? Because you're so fucking smart. I was just thinking. I said, you know what, Greg, he would have the fucking most brilliant kids.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. We never wanted them, you know.
Yeah.
It was kind of up to Jennifer. It wasn't really my call. Like I'm gonna force you to pop out a couple biscuits here for me. And
you're such a good husband.
I am really.
Yeah.
I wish Jennifer was listening to this.
Jennifer.
Hello.
Greg,
Darling.
you are really smart and talented.
Well, that's very kind of you.
Yeah, I'm not that nice. No, I really am.
I would agree, and humility is one of my most
Yes, I
extraordinary
noticed. Because
qualities.
one of the wait, where's my notes? Oh God.
Who's to say? They're probably in the fridge. There's no coldness in there anymore.
Well,
so.
no, it's the ice maker. They broke the fucking ice maker, so now I got to open the refrigerator. This is a big problem for people in third
where's
world
your
countries.
parade?
I have to open the freezer and stick my hand in the ice maker.
Oh, you're
It
kidding.
doesn't come out the thing on the door anymore.
Get your
Servants steal too, by the way. I don't know if you're aware of that.
What?
Servants, they steal.
I know. Okay, so your book, the smartest book in the world,
Yes.
by the smartest man in the world, pretty much. You're pretty smart.
Well, that's very. Yeah. I mean, I was trying to think of a name for my podcast, and
Right.
I called a friend of mine years ago, and he goes, "Do you know how you come off?" And I went, "No. How do I come off?" And he went like you know everything,
Right.
And he goes, "Why don't you do a show, take questions, and brook
Right.
no dissent, and call it the smartest man in the world?" And I
Right.
went, "That's genius!" So I stole it from him.
So you didn't even fucking think of it? Okay, so you're not as smart as I thought you were.
That's pretty smart.
Well,
Yeah.
it's also smart to know when you should be the one.
Yeah,
who,
that's true.
Yeah. They say Jack Benny wasn't the greatest writer, but he knew
Right.
how every joke worked.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that's not for me. That's for Mary.
Right.
So, I'd like to think I have that capacity.
Yeah, you do. You have it. You were born in Phoenix, Arizona.
Yes.
Why is that? No, no one lived in Phoenix when you were born.
No, no one did. It was just a
My
tumbleweed.
brother lives in Scottsdale now.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Of course he
Why
does.
were you in Phoenix?
My mom and dad met at the Pink Pony in Scottsdale.
Really?
Yeah, my mother was waiting table there,
No way.
Yeah.
And what was your father doing? Just
tending bar.
Oh, it's such a beautiful story.
Isn't it? It's so
Yeah.
romantic. They're both dead, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Especially during the holidays because
Yeah.
I don't have to see them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I was born in Phoenix.
Now, are you an only?
No, I'm the youngest of four. My mother
Right.
had three other kids. So.
Right. Okay. And the youngest, as I can attest to,
Yeah.
is the smartest, most brilliant, best.
And has all
you know.
the problems. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then you moved to a suburb of San Francisco. Is that correct?
That's right. San Carlos, a small white principality. We're home of the Plain Yogurt Festival. Thank you, everybody,
Really?
and good night. Yeah.
Yeah. Take care. We'll
The
be here
powerful
all
taste
week.
is burning our tongues.
And-
Take out the fruit.
Why did you move there?
My parents moved there when I was a little kid.
Just not for work or anything. So
Yeah,
did
my
they,
dad was always on the run, so we moved there. Yeah. And then,
So were they educated? Were they college educated?
my parents?
Yeah.
No, my father went to Babson. My mother, no,
wow.
not at all. My mother, like sharecropper from Mississippi.
way.
Oh yeah, her father was and then they moved to Arizona in the 30s, which is why my mother lived there.
Right.
My dad is from Brooklyn. He's from Bay Parkway, and he went to Babson. But gambling seemed to be a real important element of his life.
Right,
so,
right.
yeah.
And you
He's
say,
what gamblers call the degenerate gambler,
oh, that's nice. That's nice.
meaning we had a new car every week and stuff like that.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Not a new one, just
But
a different one.
Different
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Now, you said that one of the most dangerous things you ever did was to tell your father to fuck off.
Well, I don't know if it was dangerous. I certainly did. He was kind of a gangster, but
Right.
I had that moment with him. Yeah, that was a beautiful family moment that I like to think
How
about
old
during the
were you
holidays.
when that happened? And what holiday
I
was
told
it?
him I was a teenager, but then I think the big one was probably I was about 30, 31, 32
Right.
somewhere.
So last year.
Yeah,
Hey
that's what I'm
there!
talking
Good night,
about.
folks!
Woo!
Woo!
Nothing but net for
Yeah.
gold on that one.
Yeah.
That's the 3-point line.
So,
yeah, no,
yeah.
I told him that I hated him and I hated his father, and my dad I started bawling, and my dad, because he was hard as fucking nails, just
Right. No way.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that horrible?
Dad was a hard guy.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law, George, who's a very lovely person, said to me, it's hard for me to believe that they're your mom and dad because you have feelings.
Right.
So
do
my
your
mom and dad,
siblings have feelings?
Yeah, they do. My siblings do. But my mother and father, we'd be watching like a movie on TV when I was little, and I'd start crying because someone was dying or someone was stranded on a rock or something. And my parents would go, God, you're so sensitive.
I had the same shit. And my brother and sister would make fun of me, like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Oh, I always cried during that,
And then I would put like, blinders with my hair. I use them as, blinders of my eyes like a horse, because they would fucking, look who's crying, it's fake, and you're fake. And also my parents were like, people who emote in public, people who cry like at funerals, or they're faking it, basically. It's just for show.
Yeah. No, there was a lot of...
That's saying a lot about them. I feel like they're project. That's why they would cry at a funeral.
They've had tragedies in their lives, and they just were stoic about it. So they feel like, but
everyone
they're supposed to hold it. Yeah.
So can I ask a question about that? If they would cry, would it be just for show?
No, they would never cry. I don't think I ever saw my father cry. My mother would cry over the stupidest thing that, but it was because she didn't cry over the real thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it would be like, the rice is overcooked.
Right.
Oh my God!
Right.
I'm going on there never again,
Yeah,
and then go upstairs and cry.
Right. Do you have a computer there?
I do.
Will you look up a poem by Philip Larkin that starts, they fuck you up, your mom and dad? They don't mean to, but they do.
Oh my God!
You ever heard that poem?
No.
That's why I want you to look at Philip Larkin, because it's about your mother and father, but then about how their mother and father had to go at them.
Right.
And that's why they're the way they are.
It's as they say in Hebrew, lador vador, from generation.
That's why I told my dad I hated his father.
Right.
It wasn't just him.
I only knew one grandmother, and I loved her.
Me too. I only knew.
That's But you never met his father.
No. Just abusive letters and phone calls. Yeah.
I could play it for you.
Okay.
Play it.
This be the verse. They fuck you up, your mum and dad. They may not mean to, but they do. They fill you with the faults they had, and add some extra just for you. But they were fucked up in their turn by fools in old-style hats and coats, who half the time were soppy stern and half at one another's throats. Man hands on misery to man. It deepens like a coastal shelf. Get out as early as you can, and don't have any kids yourself.
That gets a ring.
Now we know why you don't have kids.
In old-style coats and hats.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
But now my kids have two mothers, so they say they fuck you up, your mother and your mom and mom.
Yeah.
So were you popular in school? Were you
not when I was little. By the time I got to high school and I got a little taller and a little more confident. Junior high, not so much.
Yeah.
I tried to hide from being beaten up a lot.
Yeah.
I was quite short and had the same voice that I have now and spectacles. Glasses from the age of 8. So
really?
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah. I remember in 3rd grade, like moving closer and closer to the blackboard, and finally my teacher's like, "Can you see anything?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "You're going to the eye doctor."
Wow. Didn't they did that every year in my school?
They gave us eye checks too.
Yeah, eye
Did they?
checks.
No, I
yeah,
never
and you
got
know what
one.
else they did? Fucking pissed me off. We'd all go to the gymnasium.
Tetanus.
No,
No,
they
no.
measure and weigh us.
Oh, gross.
And I'm fucking 6 feet tall.
I was going to say you
Oh,
were 6 feet tall when you were 9.
Yeah,
right?
and then they would call like Judith Gold, and then it would be Bigfoot, Sasquatch, big, and I was like,
how's the weather up there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Kids are wonderful.
Are you? I know. Are your siblings, any of them, intellectuals or
No.
just
family people. Giant families and my kids did this, my kids did that.
And are you a good uncle, or do you not give a
particularly, no.
shit?
I said to one of my nieces a couple of years ago, "I wish I was there more for you," and she went, "That's all right. You're my cool uncle." And I was like,
Really?
I'll handle that. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
I'll handle that.
So All right. So then you're in high school. Were you involved in theater? Yeah.
Did all the talent shows.
Right.
Did all the plays.
Right.
We did Gypsy. Then I did.
We did Gypsy too.
Yeah.
Were you Mama Rose?
Oh my God, that's so funny.
I was Mother Rose.
Yeah.
I played Angie, who's one of the boys.
Yes.
Broadway, how great you are. We're taking June and leaving.
What do you want?
Yes.
Oh, Seth told me to.
We did Gypsy, then I did community theater because that was even wilder than high school theater.
That's great.
Community theater, like all the adults that were in their 30s and 40s were just raging drug addict alcoholics.
Right.
And one of them had been a choreographer on the Andy Williams show, which was fantastic.
Oh my God, I love
remember
that.
her name, Sharon Cunningham. And so we'd go, we were in the chorus, right?
Right.
We did The Boyfriend and Little Me, right?
Right.
Jill Stein. And then after
she then ran for president.
Yeah. Then we'd have these giant cast parties and everyone would get shit-faced. And they didn't care at all that we were 15 or 16 years old.
Right.
We would drive drunk to the thing and just get high and then make out with each other and take drugs. It was just fantastic.
That's so great.
Yeah, that's why the theater gets you early. People are like, why did you want to be a performer? It's like, there were no rules.
Right.
When you're 16.
There's no boundaries. None. Zero.
When I started doing stand-up, I was probably like a teenager.
Right.
And they let you come into the club, drink, do coke in the bathroom, hang out with the band. Like, wait, this is way better than school. This is better than school.
You were in high school when you first did stand-up.
Yeah. And then
how did that happen?
Well, we were doing it at school, and then we went to junior college at the College of San Mateo, the knob of knowledge, and Harvard on the Hill. And we started doing stand-up there. And then this band came to play a lunchtime gig, and we opened for them. And they said, hey, you want to come down? We do this gig called The Winery in Palo Alto.
Right.
So we would go down and do sets in between their sets.
Right.
And they were like 28. We thought they were the eyes of age.
Right.
And we were, I think, 18, 19.
Right.
And, that's when it started. Smoking, drinking.
Right.
Hanging out, taking drugs, hanging out with the band. And it was like, why would I want to carry on studying when I'm being treated like an adult by a group of adults? And stand-up's one of the few things. You got to do a giant apprenticeship. It's a medieval craft, stand-up.
That's
it's like,
what
it's like being a blacksmith or something, or a printer. You have to spend 10 years
at least
learning how to do it. Just learning how to do it.
And then another 5 to know what the fuck.
Right. And then another 5 to like get that. And then another 5 to shake off the 5 from before.
Right.
That's the shitty 5 years.
Right.
And then you're funny again at the age of whatever.
Yeah.
But you're allowed to be in clubs and be paid when you're a kid. And I can't think of another craft. They don't invite acting.
Right.
My friend Jeff Davis was in The King and I with Yul Brynner when he was
no way.
Yeah, from 9 to 11.
What?
Yeah. When he was a kid, the last 2 years, Yul Brynner did the show.
No
was
way.
he Tup Tim or whatever?
He was the little white kid. He was.
The other one.
Yeah, he's Anna's son. So he has the opening number
that's
whenever
so
I
cool.
feel. The other night we were drunk in South Bend, Indiana, and he started telling me the whole thing again, which I always love.
Was
I
he
love
molested?
hearing this story. Not at all. But we would play theaters over the years with the Who's Line guys, and we'd be like I can't remember where we were in St. Louis, some big theater, and he goes, I played this theater before. We go downstairs, and there's the King and I's autographs.
No
all
way.
Of them with
Was
you.
he there?
And there's Jeff B. Davis. And he goes, that was the first girl I made out with. I was 12 or whatever, and blah, blah, blah. So they let you do that when you're a kid.
Right.
And of course, he said it was cutthroat, People were getting cut from the plays.
Yeah.
He had one understudy that was like, I'm going to fuck you up. And he was like, hey, I'm 12. Back off,
Did you ever see that documentary?
Sounds awesome.
Did you ever see that documentary about the Annies? The girls who played? Oh my God, you have to see it.
It's so grueling.
It's the way they tell the story about how, they'd get too old or they'd get a boob bump.
Right.
And then they'd be like, you're out. And like they talk about how they do their last show and they'd walk through the lobby to go home and they'd already be taking photos of the new Annie who's starting, and how fucking devastating it was for these girls.
You were a star.
Yeah.
You're the last one to take a bow.
It's a great documentary.
Your show.
It's a great documentary. So were you a good student?
Oh, indifferent.
Really?
B minus, yeah.
But you knew you were just
I was smarter
bored.
than everyone else. And I already knew the material, but I just didn't give a shit about school at all. Yeah. I didn't really get perved on until I think college, and then we had one lighting teacher who we did Equus, and I played Alan. No. Yeah, so I was naked on stage the whole run, and he took pictures of them, was showing them in his lighting class.
No way.
Happened to just coincidentally show naked pictures of me in his lighting class every day. And so I found out and went into his office with a friend of mine and we told him to stop doing it.
Right.
And he said, no, I'm not going to. And so we went to the chancellor or the vice president of the university. And I remember a ceremony where the pictures were burned in front of me.
Wow.
The slides were burned in front of me.
What happened to him?
Nothing. It was 1979 or 80, so it was like nothing. Now, of course, you could get him fired, I think, for doing something that
Absolutely.
Get shit
and how
done.
do I know those weren't the only photos? How do I know those weren't copies or whatever? He was a photography teacher as well.
Right.
Oh, great.
Where is he now? Have you looked him up?
I don't know where he is. He's
Okay.
rotting in hell,
Yeah. I love looking people like that up. All right, so you start doing stand-up.
Geez, some of these things I haven't thought of in so long. This is like going to the therapist, Jude.
I know, isn't it good?
Can I lay down and cry?
Yeah, go. I have pictures of your parents right here.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I've never really gone through my life chronologically. It's horrible.
Yeah, it's good. It's
like
fun.
getting hit by a bus. It's all passing before me.
But now you love Deborah Harry. Is that correct?
I do. How do you know that I love Deborah Harry?
Yeah.
So I met her at an ACLU benefit years ago. I'm a
member.
I got a phone call at home. A woman I know named Jess Herman, who works for them now, but didn't.
Jess Herman?
You know Jessica Herman?
No, is she Jewish?
Yes.
This is our Jew bell.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll give you.
Wait, do you have any Jew in you?
My father's Jewish.
Jew bell.
Your father's Jewish?
My father was bar mitzvahed. He was from Brooklyn. I was not bar mitzvahed. My mother was. I was baptized Episcopal, if you like those apples. But no one on earth believes that I'm Episcopal because of the way I look, act, and talk.
Right.
So my wife's like, really? Really, Greg? You think people are going to believe you're Episcopal? I'm like, I don't even bother anymore.
Yeah, you're Jewy.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
I'm too Jewy.
Okay.
So,
aren't Episcopalians a cool Christians?
Yeah, they are.
Jack Catholics, they're kind of Catholic, but they let women be priests and stuff like that. So
and they like the gays.
Yeah, they don't care.
Do you have any gay siblings?
Not that I know of. I don't think so.
Any nieces or nephews gay?
No, I don't think so.
That's so weird.
Isn't that weird? Yeah. No, that is really weird.
I have low gayism in my family.
Yeah, it's really weird. Although I had one cousin on my father's side, my Uncle Bill's daughter. Anyway, she had a kid, and he was 19, 18 when I met him. And they're well off.
Right.
I'm not Jewish, right? My cousins are a CPA, a businessman. A psychiatrist. She's married to a urologist. Okay, so the Jew bell is like. I said all that's missing from our family is a violin player.
Right.
We got a comedian. We got a psychiatrist. So I meet him, and he's a nice kid, and he went to some cheechy school. I can't think of the name of it in Maine. Not Bard. That's not in Maine.
Right.
But some really fancy school in Maine. And he was, he had an album. It looked like Hanson. They gave him the CD.
Right.
It had like 3 kids on it.
Right.
And I go, so you going to be a musician? I go, show business is a fun career. It's something you do your whole life. He goes, oh, the road. I go, how old are you?
The road?
18. I go, check in with me in 30 fucking years.
You
and then
fucking asshole.
I go, the road? You haven't been on the goddamn road. What the fuck do you know about the road? You live in a mansion in Nashville. And then you go to school. Right. Like,
the road? Oh, you're going to have to stay in a hotel?
Right.
Without your fucking servants?
Right.
Fuck you.
I was like, honey. So then the last time I saw him was this year.
How old is he now?
Well, like 20. And I go, so you musician? No, I'm doing, I was like, either you want to do it or you don't want to do it.
Or you have to do it. Like, I have to do what I do.
There wasn't
There's
an
nothing,
option.
Yeah.
So, but that's the people, and then the people that don't have to do it are the ones I resent,
Right. I know. It's so annoying. All right, so then you start. How'd you get into improv?
Well, let me finish the Debbie Harry one.
Okay.
So briefly.
That's right, Deborah Harry.
So
thank you for keeping me on track here.
They call me and they go, we're doing this benefit for the ACLU. It's at Ellis Island. And Jennifer turns to me and goes, where is it? The tuberculosis ward? And I'm, right. So we take the gig and it was fantastic. It was, we were reading different decisions, like, Loving, that one. I can't
Loving
think
versus West Virginia. Yeah,
West Virginia. I think I read an abortion one. It was me, Joan Osborne, Deborah Harry.
Oh my God.
And my name is Luca. What's that lovely singer? She lives here in New York.
Suzanne Vega.
Suzanne Vega. It was fantastic.
Nice, Seth.
So I went around the table, and Philip Glass, Jubel.
Yeah.
I went around the table with the program and got everyone's autograph.
Because
I
that's
was like,
great.
I'm never going to be with this many people at one thing again.
And these cool people,
And Philip Glass composed a piece just for the night, which they played, and it was sensational. So I'd met Debbie at a previous one in Washington, D.C., and Maxie Priest was singing. The guy who owns the guy from Cleveland who owns who's the Gwen, the insurance company that has Gwen. What are they called? He's Jewish and he's a big liberal and he gives a ton of money to the ACLU.
Progressive.
Progressive.
Yeah.
The cat who owns Progressive is a Jew from Cleveland.
Is that true?
Yeah, and
that's a good fucking job that woman has.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, she's never.
Yeah.
And so
has to work on that.
Deborah was there and Maxi Priest was there, the reggae star with his band, and he had the most gangster manager you've ever met, like a dude that like when you looked into his eyes, you were like, I can't look at you too long because you're going to suck me into your vortex of evil. And he and Maxi, of course, is like probably 60, but looked 25, right? Because he's a black guy from Jamaica and he had freckles and like, hey, how's it going? It's good to meet you. And we're like, oh my God, you're gorgeous, you know. And then one of the lawyers comes in, and mind you, this is an ACLU benefit in Washington D.C.
Right.
There's 3,500 Jews in the other room, all of whom are advocate lawyers, right? And one of them comes in and goes, could you guys not smoke pot in the dressing room? Because, it's a thing. And I was like, you have 3,500 lawyers out there.
Right.
Surely you could get Maxi Priest off.
Right.
On a reggae.
Right.
He's a reggae band.
Right.
What do you think they're going to do in the dressing room?
Was he already smoking in there?
No. That was what was funny. It was a preemptive dope strike.
Oh, my God.
So when we went to Ellis Island, my friend says to me, don't bring any dope onto Ellis Island. They have lots of security. Greg, I know you've got dope with you all the time. I'm like, all right, I won't. So I don't know if you know this, but you can drive to Ellis Island.
You can?
Yeah.
On a ferry?
Right. And then you think, why didn't Leave Woman drive? Why take the boat?
Right.
So you go to Jersey.
Right.
You go to Jersey and you drive over this WPA bridge that's made of wood that's one car width wide.
Are you kidding?
No,
Liberty State Park.
I thought we were going to take a ferry.
Oh,
right?
yeah,
like,
Liberty
I'm all
State
ready
Park,
with my coat and like a hat.
Yeah.
Like we're going on. I'm like Barbara Streisand.
Right.
We're, don't tell me not to live. Right. Like we're going to.
Yeah.
So we get in the car and the guy goes, oh no, I'm going to take you this way. Boom, through Jersey. We drive there.
Right.
And of course there's no security whatsoever.
Right.
And I'm like to Jennifer, we could have burned one right now.
Right.
Looking back at Manhattan.
Yeah, right.
I could have burned one.
Never listen to anyone when they tell you not to bring one.
I don't.
Yeah.
I did that night, but I don't in
Let's
general.
learn.
And this story's horrible, but I'm going to tell it anyway. They put
go
us
ahead.
at the W that's at World Trade Center.
Yes.
You know where that one is,
Yes,
right?
I know
So
exactly.
In those days, this was a few years ago, there was nothing there yet.
Yes.
It was still a gigantic pit that was
Right.
being constructed.
Right.
So we're checked into our room, and it was Fashion Week. So in the room was a little, not a split, but is this a split of champagne? Mm-hmm. The kind you put a straw in.
Yeah.
And there was a little car, and I mean, we weren't with Fashion Week, but I guess they stuck them in everyone's room.
Right.
The bellboy brings us in. The bellman brings us in, and the window's open, and all you can see from our room, and I'm not kidding, is the pit. Oh. And so he puts our bags down, and he goes, I lost my uncle down there.
No way.
Yep. So I gave him $20 and he splits. And I said to Jennifer,
Oh my God, he probably uses that on everyone.
I said to Jennifer exactly what you said. I go, I don't mean to be a big cynic or whatever.
Right.
But I've been to New York before.
Right.
And I said, if he doesn't use that on every fucking hayseed from Iowa that walks into this fucking place, I'll be a bobtailed
And
bastard.
how was the presentation of that?
Oh no, he did this. He did that. He gazed out the window balefully for several moments.
Yeah.
And then he looked not back at us, but across the room and went, I lost my uncle down there.
Oh my God. You're
That's
not
good.
supposed to do that, but that's really
I
good.
gave him $20. It was quite a scam. I was like, get out of the room, go. Here's your money.
Right.
Go. And I said to Jennifer, everybody gets this.
Yeah.
I go, he doesn't have an uncle.
How about how you can't open the windows in any fucking hotels anymore?
And you couldn't open there. So Jennifer closes the blinds
Right.
and is like, these are not to be open for the entire time we're
Right.
here. I am not
I'm not
eating
giving him any fucking
a fucking ham sandwich
Right.
looking down at this pit where 3,000 people were executed.
Oh, horrible.
Yeah, so...
Ham sandwich.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, it was like...
Well,
so
the Jews
she'd take
did
a
it,
shower
so she
and
should have a
and I'd open
brisket.
up the window
So,
and look in it, and then I'd close it back up because it was like too...
It's
the
horrible.
location.
I have not been down there since.
And there's a bar you can drink
No way.
Oh, yeah.
And
you
look
can
down at it?
They call it the pit.
Where were you on 9/11?
We were in San Francisco. We went to a Chinese restaurant, and then there was
Shocking.
and Hang On Alley in San Francisco, up above Grand Avenue, is a Buddhist temple, and I took Jennifer there. She'd never been there, and you go to this Buddhist temple, and you you bring oranges. You go to the market and you buy oranges and offerings and shit.
Right.
And you put them down in front of the thing, and a Buddhist priest leads you in, and you take a like a Yahtzee thing full of sticks.
Right.
That have writing that you can't understand.
Right.
And you throw them, and then they're read for you.
No way.
Yeah.
They read the sticks.
Yeah. So
however they land.
It sticks with writing on them. Yeah. So you go chuck, and then you chuck them
Oh,
on the thing.
I've seen
and
that.
they go, oh, your life will be beautiful. And of course, it's always good.
Yeah,
It's
positive,
like a gypsy.
yeah.
You know, they
Except when I go.
Right.
Yeah.
Fortune tellers never go, oh my God, cancer, you're getting cancer. You know,
right.
they never say that, you know.
Judy, the sticks break
Yeah.
when they
Right,
throw
they
them.
break.
Yeah.
She's using them to eat chow mein with.
Right.
And you can't eat dim sum with them. And so we went and did that. So it was a beautiful morning. And then we went down to Golden Gate near the bridge.
Right.
We were buying postcards, walking around. And then the next morning we get up and the bus boy comes in and goes, they just blew up the World Trade Centers in New York. And I was in such denial. I turned to my wife and I said, that is a fucked up joke. I don't think that's funny
Right.
at all. Turn on the TV.
It was. I can't even think about it.
Yeah. Well,
It's
we
horrible.
don't have to. We don't have to
that
go
and
into
the
it.
AIDS crisis. I think I have PTSD.
Oh, don't even about the
AIDS
AIDS crisis. I'm
crisis.
from San Francisco.
I know.
So you talk to some people and they're like, well, I don't know anyone. And you're like, would you shut up? Everyone died.
I can't
Everyone
even-
died.
Yeah, that's why you don't know anyone.
Yeah, that's why you don't know anyone.
But it's also like I didn't realize it until recently, but when I look at footage from that period of time, I have to like leave, or I get really emotional. And I feel like I was young and, I was like, we're going to fight this. And blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I never let myself feel
Yeah, I think a lot
that
of people
all
went
these
through that.
fucking people my age, like that, my contemporaries, that we're starting our life, and we're thinking, oh my God, we could die, well, not, but.
Well, Fran Lebowitz said an entire generation of actors, writers, artists, dancers, designers, intellectuals,
Done.
an entire generation
Right.
dead. So then people say to me, well, Reagan was a great president, and Reagan, and I'm like, that's it. I'm like,
I can't buy.
Just fuck off.
He wouldn't even fucking say the word.
Nope.
And then what about how Nancy told, what's his name? This fucking menopause is really bad today.
I know, my menopause is kicked in.
But
They wouldn't do a
Rock
goddamn
Hudson,
thing. Yeah.
he asked her. He said, "Can you please write me a letter so
You're
I
my
can go
old
to
buddy.
France?"
Yeah, remember when
and
we used
she
to have
was
sex
like,
and-
"Yeah,
And they would make fun of it. You've seen that press conference where they make fun of it and everything. And
Yeah.
I remember going to a bar where I lived off Polk Street, and there was a bar, and the first signs for it, and it would say gay cancer.
Yeah.
And it showed Kaposi's and
Right.
whatnot. And everybody at that point was still real unsure of what was going
Right.
on. And then, of course, within 3 years, it was
And
over.
also, it also forced so many people to come out of the closet.
Didn't it just? And some people were really brave, and some people
Right.
were really beautiful, and some
Right.
people were, Liberace,
Right.
who went to his grave without. I wonder about a bunch of my teachers from school. I don't know whether they succumbed. I know a bunch of guys I went to high school with, died.
Yeah.
A bunch of others survived.
Right.
And it was pretty much a crapshoot at that point.
It's horrible.
Isn't it?
This is a humor podcast.
I know.
It's really funny.
It's called I Want to Die.
It's called Kill Me Now.
Kill Me Now.
Kill Me Now. AIDS.
I know,
yeah.
but that's when people start in about Reagan, and I have to hear people on TV talk about what a warm, wonderful, fucking avuncular individual he was. It was like he was a ghoul who refused to believe the AIDS crisis existed.
Right.
And then Walker didn't believe it until Magic Johnson got AIDS.
Right,
And then all of a sudden, hey, that AIDS quilt just fell on my head.
Yeah.
And so I just don't want to hear it, really.
I really don't either.
I don't
love
ever want to hear
Ron
about
Reagan
any-
Jr. though. I
Ron
love
Reagan
him.
Jr. is awesome. And you realize he was in the, which ballet
He was in the
in?
ballet, yeah.
And they basically he had to leave because
of his father?
Yeah. And he wasn't a terrible dancer. It was just he wasn't.
What about that great commercial he does? What? Not afraid to rot in hell.
Yeah.
I love that because he's an atheist.
Yeah. No, Ron Reagan
and
Jr.
he's
I
a
dug.
good voice. He's smart and he's so Okay, so
Well, I mean, they'll bump up all these guys and say, "Oh, the Republicans were always the party of morality and probity and family values." And
oh,
it's
I
like,
love this moral majority
every single
bullshit.
one of them went to jail. Every single one of them's a
What about
pervert. Every single
now?
one of them's a
What
corrupt
about now with these-
pedophile.
yeah,
I
fuck
mean,
these
I don't want to
fucking
hear
assholes.
it. I
Wasn't
really don't want to hear
Roy
it.
Cohn a politician who
Yes.
had
Very much
AIDS
so.
and
Yeah.
he was
He denied it too,
Yeah.
and was Trump's mentor.
Yeah.
right.
Yes.
He was on the House
Awesome.
Un-American Activities
Yeah.
Committee. He was a right winger. He hated Herbert Walker. He loved Ron and Nancy.
I
Yes.
don't understand.
and James Woods played him in the movie.
Yeah.
How
and
appropriate.
he's
Right.
exactly. I don't understand these right-wing, first of all, the Jews.
Yeah.
Who are, I mean, these people obviously hate you. You know, like the people that you're fighting, you know, these right-wing, they hate you. They hate Jews. They're only for Israel because, you know, the apocalypse.
Yeah.
Right.
And, you know.
Right.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Right. Kushner's in there, Mnuchin, Gary Cohn, Rod Rosenstein. And, I mean, and during...
Wait, is it, one of them is one of those Messianic Jews who's not, like, who is some sect of Judaism that's Jesus-y, but bullshit, crap, and whatever.
And there were all the ones in W's administration.
I know.
That were in the mix.
Wolfowitz.
And you were like, what the fuck,
I know.
Wolfowitz?
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Make another smart choice with Auto Quote Explorer to compare rates from multiple car insurance companies all at once. Try it at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
So you...
The name says it all.
Yeah.
You joined an improv. Why did you go from stand-up to improv?
I was doing stand-up. I'd never seen improv. I was matriculating at San Francisco State, majoring in dope. And
Love that you call it dope still.
Yeah.
they had a dope. They had it pot. They had a kid, as we call it in psychology. Reefer.
Weed.
We call it reefer a lot.
Yeah, we did too.
Reefer. And weed. They had an improv group at the Cantina, Mary Ward Hall. And so I went to see it because I'd never seen it. I sat in the front row and I watched. And they did an audience spot. They brought someone on the crowd.
Right.
So the next week, which is Tuesday or whatever it was, I went. I sat in the front row.
Right.
I'm reminded, of course, of Keen Holtz, who was taken to see Jubel. I was taken
I was writing a note down. I wanted to ask you something. Yeah, go ahead.
Keen Holtz's parents took him when he was young to go see a Rembrandt.
Right.
And his response at the age of 12 or whatever was, I can do that. And I thought, that's genius, right? That's just genius. So I sat in the front row and I thought, I can do this.
Right.
I'm 18 or whatever. I'm 19. I can fucking get up and make stuff up. So I jumped out of the crowd and I volunteered. And the next day this will give you an idea of how long ago this was. I was riding a buggy. The next day I was playing pinball in the student union.
I love that.
Playing pinball in the
we would
student
have been
union.
friends.
Yeah.
What about Pac-Man?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
well,
and Ms. Pac-Man
this
and
is the
Atari.
early days, right?
Wait,
so
what about the...
This is Centipede.
Yeah, Centipede. I fucking loved Centipede.
Joust. That era.
Yeah.
So there was still pinball machines.
Yeah,
And I think this one was a Rolling Stones one. I can't remember what it was. And my friend
Did
Reed
you
came up
shake
to
the
me.
machine? Would you do pushing?
Don't shake the machine.
I'm a good pinball player.
Yeah.
I don't tilt too much. And he goes, you want to join my group? And so I did, and that's when I learned to do improv.
You know what I find interesting, because in your stand-up you never talk to the audience, but improv,
I did, but I don't now.
Yeah, and improv is really dealing with that fucking audience a lot.
Pretty much, and we bring them out of the crowd. We let them play with us. I mean, I'm lucky to be in a big improv group because I'm in the Who's Line group. So I go around with Ryan Stiles.
I love Ryan. So will you tell him I said hi?
I will.
Yeah, right.
And Jeff Davis and.
Well, I love him.
No, just your response. Yeah, right. I thought you said
no,
yeah,
I
right.
did.
Oh,
I will.
I will tell him. I
did 2 episodes. I played his girlfriend.
No, I thought you said never mind. It's time for Hennessy.
Anyway,
to shut
I'm in a
let's
group with
get
them.
That. VP,
so
go.
now we do high class theaters and shit like that. But we do bring people out in the audience, and what they never, of course, realize is my own poison personal politics.
Right.
Speaking of, because like you say in stand up, I did a gig a couple weeks ago, and there was some contention in the crowd regarding my views toward guns and Christianity and Republicans. And, that's why I don't talk to the audience, because I'm not interested in their opinion.
Right.
Because they haven't thought at all about what they believe. Right. They only know what they believe because they've been indoctrinated. Not every human, obviously. I'm not that dismissive. People are intelligent.
But you would think people that come to your show know what to expect.
But Judy, you know how it is. No matter how many people have come to see you, 30% of the room has no idea who you are.
Right.
They've just come out to see comedy, and to them, we're lumped in with Larry the Cable Guy, Dat Fan.
Right.
Comedy is a big amorphous thing.
All right.
Like music gets divided up into country and hip hop, classical and jazz. So if you're a jazz person, you don't wander into a country club and go, I heard there's music here tonight.
Right.
But yet comedy fans will wander into a fucking comedy club, do no research whatsoever, and then go, I didn't like what... I've had people say, he made fun of elected officials, which is like, that's the job.
We're fucking in the United States of America, you
Will
fuckhead.
Rogers, let's go back to the beginning.
Oh my God, I hate everyone!
Yeah, so last couple weeks ago, I was playing and I was talking about guns, and I said, if you want gun control as the setup to my joke, and a redneck in the house goes, well, I don't want gun control. And I went off on him for quite some time.
Okay, let's do a little improv.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want gun control.
You've been heard from. You're a white empowered hillbilly guy who beats his cousin while he's fucking her because his team lost. Okay, we've heard your fucking opinion.
Fuck
for
you,
the last
man.
241
Fuck
years.
you.
There's been 40. Oh, really? Fuck me?
Yeah.
How about this? Fuck you. You can go home and stick your weenie, because it's so small, inside the barrel of your fucking rifle.
I'll fucking take my gun out right now.
That's what I said to the audience.
Yeah.
Because at the club, they were putting all the phones in little sleeping bags.
They do?
Chappelle style.
Yeah, that's great.
I love that.
Which I do. And I went, you know what? I'm not going to keep this going because all your phones are in little sleeping bags, but all your firearms aren't.
Right.
And then they all laughed.
That's
and everything.
a great line.
Yeah. And I was like, you know.
Whose line is that anyway?
That's the title of the show.
So, yeah, that's what happens with audiences now. Rednecks are real empowered to keep their Nazi shit going.
Here's the thing. This is the thing that's so...
They always were, by the way.
Huh?
They always were, but now especially.
But it's also like, you know, because I was just in Cleveland. And, you know, of course, there was a portion of the audience that was there for me. And then there were the 30%ers, okay? Yeah. So I open... in the beginning, I talk about Orange Fuckface. That's what I call him because I can't even say his name.
No, I rarely do. It's Mango Mussolini for me.
Oh, that's good. I like that. Orange Fuckface is bad, I guess.
No, it's funny.
All right.
Everybody knows who you mean.
Mango Mussolini.
So I do a joke. Shut up, Seth. So I do this joke. I have a joke in my act about how he is the only human being who could make American Jews want to move back to Germany. Okay? And then I do this thing of us going back saying, hey, we're back, you know, whatever. So there's a guy.
Hey, we're back.
Yeah. Can we get our artwork?
Right.
Wondering.
My
like
grandmother
some silverware.
had a painting and a ring.
Yeah, and I was wondering.
The wedding rings, they're in a big bucket.
We heard you guys are really sorry.
Yeah. My great-grandfather's teeth are in this big jar. Yeah. If you could find those for me.
I do it. I go as far as I can because then they go, whoa! And it's like, so there's a guy, and this is what the thing is. The irony of it all is that they take themselves so fucking seriously and go to, you know, and it's like, even if the joke, now that's a funny joke. Even if you're a fucking asshole Orange Fuckface supporter, you can say, all right, well, that's kind of funny, right? If you have a brain. But they don't have that capacity, and they just go back to you with you're a cunt, you're a kike, you're a dyke, you know. Yeah. So
you check all the boxes.
Yeah, thank you. Not American Indian or African American. So or Latina. So this guy, and you know they puff up like fucking peacocks. He's like, and the wife starts saying to him, honey.
Yeah.
No, stop. No. And I looked at the table. I said, yeah, stop. Let's cut the shit. Yeah. Go, leave.
Yeah.
And they fucking got up and left.
But
it, you know, and then I have another 15 minutes of getting the audience back.
I was going to say, you like me still, right?
Yeah.
Even though I abused one of you horribly?
Right.
But now you're taking their side against me, even though it's me you came to see?
Right. It's such a fucking crapshoot now. And I can't. All right, so
you have to pick the places you play. I mean, I played Madison, Wisconsin. I had a couple people walk out.
But that's such a liberal town.
Madison, Wisconsin is really liberal. So you're never going to play to a more liberal crowd other than like Berkeley.
Right.
And where people like cheer the no smoking sign.
Right,
you know?
right.
And in Madison, a woman came up to me after the show and went, you know, there's some people who support Trump. And I said, I'm aware of that. And she went, that's why I walked out of your show. And I said, well, that's your prerogative.
Right.
So she wrote a letter to the club the next day and said, I really enjoyed the first two acts. And this third act I disliked intensely because he disagreed with me on. I'm not sophisticated. These aren't her words. These are my words.
Right.
I'm not sophisticated enough to laugh at anything I disagree with intellectually.
Right.
Because I'm a right-wing asshole, narrow-minded piece of shit.
Right.
And so fantastically, the manager of the club says to me, that woman wrote me. And I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
And he goes, I wrote her back and I said, I'm absolutely overjoyed you enjoyed the first 2 acts. As for Greg, 2 minutes on your phone would have revealed what you were going to get from Greg.
Right.
And it's kind of your responsibility as a grown adult audience person to do that research.
Right.
And you're not getting your money back.
What did they fucking think they're going to see? That's
good times. They're going to forget about. People are going to talk about their dicks. They're going to talk about how embarrassing sex is. They're going to talk about kids and how kids are a hassle. They're going to talk about all the shit that I never ever talk about on stage. And when I'm not talking about politics, I'm usually talking about how women are harassed beyond measure.
You know, that is something I wanted to talk about with you as well because, but first, before we talk about you're a feminist in the true sense of the word, which is now being fucking, raped. No pun intended.
Good one.
Thank you. You get tweets that are, which I do too.
Yeah.
Go back to comedy. We don't want your opinion.
Yes. Why we used
you
to
were
be funny
on Tough Crowd. Now you're not funny.
Right.
What do you do with that? What do you fucking do with that?
I block everyone who criticizes my comedy. If they're coming from the point of view of you used to be funny, but you talk about it too much now. The one that I hate the most of all right now is you're still dwelling on Hillary, let it go. If the most important thing in the history of the United States happened, which it did, and it was a white backlash, FBI, Russian hacked, a voter suppressed election of a white supremacist reality TV star backed by the giant rich families of the world, and that coup occurred while you were alive, would you just let it go?
Yeah, exactly.
Or would you pursue that till the end of time?
But it's also that we're not obsessed with Hillary.
No.
They are. They are.
I'm willing to accept that she's not in office now, and therefore when Judge Jeannie went on TV a couple of weeks ago and went,
119 miles per hour, bitch.
Turn it around and lock her up. It's like, first of all, Judge, she's not an elected official.
She's a private citizen.
She has done nothing wrong. That's been gone over time and time again.
And we paid for that.
We paid a bajillion dollars to go over everything that she had, from Whitewater till Benghazi. That's been looked over. The whole bringing Bill Clinton thing back up again, which they're doing on the mainstream news programs. $70 million was spent. If Kathleen Willey, and I hate to say this, but some of the women that accused Bill Clinton were inconceivably well funded by the right wing and didn't really have a lot against him. Did Bill Clinton have sex with Monica Lewinsky? Absolutely, he did.
And she was an adult.
You know what?
And he was an asshole.
I'm not saying he was right. He's scum for doing it. He was, because he exerted his power over a young girl.
And I totally agree.
But that's been gone over to the tune of $70 million in an impeachment. So the fact that we're even discussing that at this late goddamn date is so much bullshit I can barely fucking swim above it. The fact of the matter is, a predator's president, he's supporting a pedophile for senator of Alabama, when even the other weaselly, gutless Republicans in the party have stopped supporting more and gone, I don't want to have to sit next to the guy who we found out today, a woman policeman used to have to follow him
around,
to keep him off cheerleaders.
At the football games.
What kind of person is this? So don't give me morality. Don't give me any of that. Don't give me Clinton. I'm not obsessed with Hillary Clinton. I'm obsessed with her in so much as I thought she was and is the greatest American politician of my lifetime, other than Lyndon Baines Johnson, who's quite dead. She would have got more done than anyone else. She would have followed in Obama's footsteps. The other thing was, of course, she would be being impeached right now. If she were president with this Republican Congress and Senate, they have nothing better to do. They would have just gone after her. They'd have tried to find something.
Whereas, and yet that's why we need control of the House of Representatives.
Which can happen. And I don't want to hear from, and then people get so mad at me. This is the other thing people get mad at me for, Judy. Bernie's been a fucking pain in my ass for fucking 2 years.
I fucking agree. First of all,
the Jew Bell.
It's so hard because I have so many lefterman friends, and I'm just like,
Don't you get
fucked the whole fucking fucking thing up.
He's trying to subvert the Democratic Party and destroy us.
First of all, he took the money from the Democrats. He became a Democrat so that he could run. Okay,
because no one cared about him at all.
Right, takes the money from the DNC. Yeah. Then, when he's obviously not going to get the party nomination, waits and waits and waits and criticizes. You know,
with
our
Republican
nominee.
talking points.
Yes,
she's untrustworthy. She's corporate. She's a warmonger.
And also the waving of the finger. And he, you know, when you look at his behavior, and there are videos of him, people, you know, arguing with him, and him putting his, especially women, putting his hand in front of their face. Yeah, and it's, you know, do they realize how much he fucked up? That's why I loved Sarah Silverman when she was like told the Bernie people to get over themselves.
You're being ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, 2 weeks ago when we had the big election and you saw a bunch of trans people, a bunch of gay people, and a bunch of black people take civic positions.
Right.
He, the day before, sent out an email saying the party was in disarray.
Right.
He, the day after, went on the news and said the Democrats need to get it together.
Right.
He, this week, is still saying we're in disarray and we're all fucked up. You're all fucked up. Get out of my party. Stay away from my life. Don't ever come near me again. Don't wave at me.
And he's talking about running again as a Democrat. It's like, no, then don't take our money and don't criticize.
He's not a Democrat.
Right.
And we know for a fucking fact, what was it, 10, 12% of his voters voted for Trump.
Right.
Because they're that misogynist.
Right.
And now guys are breaking off that were Bernie bros and becoming Republicans.
Right.
So they're showing their true fucking colors. If you voted for him and then voted for Hillary, I love you. Okay?
Yes.
Don't fucking call me. Don't fucking write me. I was on Stephanie Miller's show last week. I said a bunch of this shit. I got 10,000 fucking emails where people, a woman, and I sent her a couple of articles. She sent me some articles, and then I was like, I agree to disagree with you. Let's resolve to defeat Orange 45. We've got to do this now. But don't fucking start in with me about how he was a progressive force and moved her to the left.
Right.
Her platform was the leftiest platform that was ever put forward by the Democratic Party.
Right.
Way leftier than Obama, who, by the way, was at war with 7 different countries.
Right.
And did not prosecute the bankers.
Right.
I mean, you know, if we're looking for faults here, and I don't want to, I want to get to the matter at hand.
Right.
Misogyny cost us our democracy.
Right.
We are now balancing on a very fragile edge here. We've seen in less than a year what you can do if you're a bull goose, chaotic Russian tool.
Right.
You can just come in and appoint judges and write executive orders.
Right.
He doesn't require any legislation.
Right. Also,
he hasn't passed anything.
What I know, and they, you know, I get people writing to me. What are you talking about? He's done more, and it's like he's done nothing. He's done nothing, and he's a fucking idiot.
The immigration ban just got overturned again. There is not going to be an immigration ban.
Net neutrality better be.
That's going to happen in 2 weeks' time. I think that is going to go through, and they're desperate for it too. Well, I mean, the only way to stop it is to call and riot every second of the day.
Right.
And it's women who are doing this. I beg men who listen to me to do it, but men just don't give a shit.
Right. Because they're, you know, they haven't had to fight for this shit.
If they understood that their porn is going to be deeply cut into by this, which it is.
Right.
What it boils down to is they'll be able to slow down every site that you like, and you'll have Facebook, Breitbart, Fox News. Those will be pretty easy to get.
Right.
And everything else, not so much.
Right. I just a fucking fuck. All right, sorry. Bernie Sanders makes me crazy. It makes me crazy, and his wife.
Then people go, he has a great. Oh, don't even with the.
I can't.
I'll go even further since we're on this fucking tack now,
Bernie,
and we're having a go.
Yeah.
After the Pulse nightclub shooting a year ago, Hillary responded immediately.
Right.
Even Orange 45 responded with one of his psycho things. If there had been more guns, blah. And the next day, Bernie gave a press conference, and him and Jane didn't talk about it at all. And they laughed on camera about some other item. They were giggling, and it's like this. After 49 gay people are shot, is really not the time for you to yuck it up on fucking TV about how funny and cute you are.
Right.
You have no sympathy at all. And
I can't.
If people think that he's like this civil rights champion and shit, you know what? It reminds me of an old Warren Thomas joke. You remember Warren Thomas?
Yeah.
From San Francisco.
Yeah.
He said Kim Basinger fucks Prince one time and suddenly she's Malcolm X. It's like Bernie goes on one march or whatever once, and I'm supposed to fucking They made fun of John Lewis. They made fun of Dolores Huerta.
Yes.
They made fun of Barbara Boxer. They're horrible about
and Maxine Waters.
Yeah, I mean they're openly mean to women, Jewish women, and women of color, and to me, it's like I'm not having it. That thing in Las Vegas where they were throwing chairs around and Barbara Boxer was on stage.
Yeah,
they're like that was overplayed, and it was like Barbara Boxer's a 70-year-old woman. The one thing that a 70-year-old woman doesn't need to see is chairs flying around
Right,
the room.
exactly.
It's a little intimidating, okay? And my wife and I were at Hillary Valley at a junior college in L.A., and they let all the Bernie bros come in. And they had a giant sign that said, "Burn the witch."
No way.
Burn the witch. They disrupted the Hillary speech 3 times. 3 different, Brenda and 2 bros got up and, the war in Iraq. And blah, blah. Not Trumpkins. Not a Trumpkin in this crowd.
Well, they don't know about the war in Iraq. They only know I hate Jews. I love my guns.
Obama started the war in Iraq.
Yeah.
We were funneled out through this weird causeway. And they allowed the Bernie bros to stand on either side and yell at us and scream at us. There's pictures of it. You've seen the pictures of them standing, screaming. Yeah. There's little children. There was old people. A lot of women, of course. I was with my wife. We got called every fucking name in the world. Yeah. And these were not Trump people. These were Bernie people. I've told the story a million times. People keep going, why do you hate us so much? Why do you lump us all together? Because I was at a rally where I was called a fucking asshole. And I watched them beat an effigy of Hillary to the ground.
Yeah.
If you think that's a big liberal progressive, and then I get called a neoliberal shill and blah, blah, blah. Why do I buy the mainstream media and this and that? It's like, why are you a misogynist bag of fuck?
Right.
And if you are...
I like bag of fuck.
Yeah.
I love that.
Own it. Own it.
So,
and get some dander shampoo and some better glasses. And stop spitting on me. Stop spitting on me. Joe Klein said it, and I stole it. I use it in my act. He wrote it for Time Magazine. He said, every Jew has an Uncle Bernie.
Yeah. I have an Uncle Bernie.
Right. But every Jew has an Uncle Bernie.
Right.
Why can't there be free everything for Shut up.
Right.
Shut up.
Right. I love it.
Don't forget to tune in next week to Just Kill Me Now.
It's Just Kill Me.
Oh. Don't forget to turn for part 2 on Just Kill Me.
No, it's not. It's
Just Kill Me.
No.
Judy Gold's Just Kill Me.
Kill me now.
Just Kill Me Now.
And everything was wonderful. I'll see you soon. Thank you for the visit. So long.